ఆరంభిస్తున్నా వినిపిస్తున్నా వాళ్ళ కన్నారు
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, good morning, everyone. So, it's my pleasure to start the today's event. Today, we have a resource person, Dr. Gaurav Vijay Banswar. So, before starting today's event, so we would like to inform that this event is organized by the IAC cell of VRSCC College, as well as supported by the IEEE student bench of VRSCC. And today's topic is about startup policy of our India country. And about the resource person, Dr. Gaurav Banswar has done BTech from Nagpur University, MTech from JNTU Hyderabad, and PhD from Symbiosis. So he's a well-known researcher in the field of cryptography and cybersecurity. So now currently he is head for innovation and startup cell at PACT Pune. So thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. And I'm handovering the session to Dr. Gaurav Banswar, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen, for the short, description and introduction. I think there are more number of students.
Yes. So we have total 180 registrations.
Okay. So first, let me tell you a few things about my institute and the role I'm currently doing. I'm heading the Startup and Innovation Cell at Pune Institute of Computer Technology, which is situated in Pune, and it is affiliated to the Pune University. And there also, I'm also heading the Business and Incubation Center from last 3 years. So what basically we do here is whatever the ideas students are having, we convert that the great ideas, into a potential product or a service. So we offer all kind of support the students require to take that idea into a product or a service. And so we started long back. We started 2018-17, but before that, from 2009 onwards, we have a strong startup ecosystem. So around 25 to 30 odd companies got graduated from PICT, from Business Incubation Center. And they are now doing very well. So we are having already a startup ecosystem established. And later in 2019, the government came up with the policy of this NISP, National Innovation and Startup Policy. Out of that, many parameters were already with us because we were there in the market from last, or 2 or 3 decades. So it was not a big task for us, but later we have realized there are a number of institutes who don't have this facility, and we started contributing to their ecosystem by bringing resources, by providing them the mentorship and so on. So when Dr. Praveen came up with the proposal of, can you please take this orientation session on this NISP? So I thought, why not? Because that is our part and parcel of it. So shall we start then, Dr. Praveen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Do let me know once my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
And we can have question and answer session towards the end. So for that, I think we can reserve 5-10 minutes of time.
Yes.
So is my screen visible?
Yeah, loading, sir. Yeah, it's visible, sir. No.
So I think there is bit of lag. So I will be bit careful in scrolling the screen. Okay. So this National Innovation and Startup Policy was launched in 2019 by Government of India. And there were guidelines given to the institute, the higher educational institute, how to implement the policy. So they had ensured that the basic frameworks remain same, but the later we can modify many stuff, like there is a flexibility given to the institute based on the environment they are in. They can frame or they can change the structure of that the policies. That's why the government has asked to have their own NISP policies, their own institute level policies, instead of just copying the content from this NISP policy. So NISP policy is a framework. Okay. So this is the policy framework. So NISP came with a vision to enable the institute to actively engage the students, faculties, the staff who are interested in innovation and entrepreneurship related activity. The whole framework is concentrated towards building the entrepreneurial mindset, which is a big lack in today's decade. Very few people generally, whether it's staff, student, faculties, are having this kind of entrepreneurial mindset in our ecosystem, in our startup Indian ecosystem. But when it goes to when you go towards the north, towards the foreign countries, you will find that the students who are at the age of 18, 19, they start having their own system. They start having their own companies. The reason is that the basic feeding, which was given in the early stage of their career or when they are in the schools, is different than what kind of feeding we give it in India. So our government has realized that there was a big lacuna. They have done enormous studies. And after that, they came up with a proposal that we need to gear this thing up. We need to push this entrepreneurial agenda because we don't want our generation to become more and more employee focused. We want everyone to become employer, where we start generating the revenue, where we start distributing the load to our fellow colleagues, and we can come up with a new kind of innovations or a product which is useful for our society. So this is a big lacuna, guys. So entrepreneur mindset. So all this policy of NISP is framed towards creating an entrepreneur mindset. So if you see this, so I hope my screen is visible, Dr. Praveen.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, it is visible, sir.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So this is basically, you know, the innovation or the disruption of the century, where the Elon Musk of SpaceX thought of implementing the idea of reusable rocket. So no one, this is out of box. You cannot think about the reusable rocket system. The rocket which goes into the space miles and miles away, and after deploying their, you know, the second part, it comes back to, or it means the same rocket system, we can use it again. It's Eureka moment. And when Elon Musk has proposed this idea, people have laughed on it. They thought of how the rocket, which is the basic system which is used for launching, can be reusable. He has failed million number of times, but finally made a product. Now the people are clapping. Now the people are praising. Now the people are saying you are having the greatest entrepreneurial mindset. But at that time, everyone has hurled the stones on you. You can imagine a scenario. Even we cannot think about the reusable rocket. So this is the out of box thing. He has burned literally millions of money, millions of dollars. His first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, I don't know how many attempts he failed. But now in 2018-19, he got his first reusable rocket, which is properly launched and properly grounded on the station after deploying that Earth orbitary system satellite. So this mindset is currently lagging in our ecosystem. We always know how to get graduated, how to go into the IT company, which is offering 3 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 9 lakhs of package, and be a part of their journey. No one thinks of our own journey. We are having 25 crore or 30 crore or 130 crore population in India. That many population in India, when we are developing country, there are huge problems. If you move left and right, if you see your spectrum, there are huge problems in your home. There are problems in your roads. There are problems in your institute. There are problems. Why don't we take an initiative and come up with a solution which is useful to the society, and then later we can convert into a product or a service. And that's what all this NISP means, because they know if this population starts innovating, that's how the country moves from a developing country to a developed country. We cannot just outsource everything. We cannot be an employee for years and years. That population has to be given some escape velocity so that we can think about something, we can think about out of box. And currently we are not at the stage where we have to think out of box. There are so many problems associated with our environment. We can just think, create a solution. Okay, so that's what this 2019 NISP policy is all about. Sorry. So what is the vision? The vision is $5 trillion economy by 2024. And how we can achieve the $5 trillion economy by 2024? Only with the proper research and innovation. And innovation always comes with the deep tech entrepreneurship. So you should have a guts to take the risk. You should have a full belief in your technology, and definitely you should have a funds to support all this. So it's a holistic package delivered by the government to the institute so that they can implement this package, and might be, who knows, next Elon Musk will be from your institute, will be from the rural area. Okay. So this NISP 2019 is a guiding framework so that the startups, there will be a huge opportunity for the startups. Government is coming with policies like Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Innovate India. There is huge scope where you can generate the funds. Banks are giving the loan at the interest rate of 3%, 4%. So let me tell you one scenario. a few days or 2 days back, a student called me from my college saying that we started our one startup, so we want the help of the college. I thought, what is a startup? They told there is some startup about the rental system that, or what is the PG system when the student comes from the rural background to the city like a Pune or Hyderabad. People start looking for the PGs. So they have acquired few flats, they have acquired few buildings, and they started their own startup. I told them, what was the investment? They told zero. They told zero investment. How it's possible? Because you need to register for LLP, you need to register for private limited, you need to pay, a huge amount to acquire those flats. So they told no. We just went to a few persons. We told this is our idea. We want to become entrepreneurs, and people are ready to help. So the people they got is they told you, we are investing in you. We are happy that you are doing something. Just do it. Whenever your startup becomes successful, then you can repay back. So when you have a passion and zeal available with you, I don't think so the targets are far away. Now these students can only think about the problems, then how they can be successful. How to generate the funds, who will go and market the idea. I'm having my exam, they are second year students. I'm having my exams going on. There is a pandemic going on. There is a COVID out there. Now, if they think about all this problem, their startup would not have been started. So you must be self-motivated guy to start this startup, guys. So this NISP policy gives you the framework. It gives you opportunities so that you can start your own startup. So that's only the vision of this NISP policy of a government. Now, what are the strategies they have adopted? The strategies they had given to the institute, I guess there are many faculties also present and many senior people also present. So definitely when they want to implement, they want to start from a grassroots level. So they told some strategies to the institute, like what is the vision of the institute? What is the entrepreneurship agenda? So who will handle that? So they have mentioned that there must be some individual person responsible for all this activity. If you give him or her a many loads, he will not able to do it fruitfully. So he should be a senior person, whosoever the management will nominate, and should be passionate about the entrepreneurship. If I give it to the Ram or Sham, and if he is not interested about entrepreneurship, then how he will push this agenda forward? It is a responsibility of the management to choose the proper person who is committed and who is having passion to come up with the startup and entrepreneurship act. Then only he will push the agenda. Otherwise, it's of no use. He will just beat around the bush and he will not focus on exactly what should be done. And what is the other point they made? Because whenever you want a startup, you require n number of peripheral activity. Like in my institute, Pune Institute of Computer Technology, we are having startup and innovation cell. We are having entrepreneurship development center. We are having business incubation center. So the moment students enter into the first year, he will get exposed to 3 different verticals. They are the pillar of any startup ecosystem. So when the student enters into the first year, we will interact with them. We'll tell them that if you are having a good idea, a potential idea, which is having a word to become a product or a service, just float the idea. So we'll have an open mic kind of system where student floats the idea. Now it's a responsibility of an institute and the nominated people like us to make sure that, because they will have thousands of ideas, but out of 1,000 ideas which are relevant, that we need to sort it out. So we will give them the guideline. We always give them the guidelines, how to pitch the ideas, how to check whether that idea is relevant to the market scenario or not. Because if tomorrow anyone can come, I can build a chair, but there are already thousands of competitors which are available in the market which are building good chairs. Now, what is specialized in your chair which the current market is not having? Then only you can make a chair, guys. So we should always see the space, the market validity. All these things happens in the startup and innovation cell. So at the first year, we'll get the 1,000 idea. And in the second year, we'll get the 25 ideas. And in the third year, we'll get the 10 ideas. And the fourth year, we'll have a potential 4 ideas or 3 ideas, which can become a successful startup product or story. Then we take our students from the startup innovation cell to the EDC, entrepreneurship development cell, where we assign them to a mentor, where we assign them to a different industrial mentors, where the ideas get pre-incubated, where we fund them also. And then comes the business incubation center, where the startup is having their own ecosystem. Now they are independent. Now they got the escape velocity. And that's how the resource mobilization means. Sorry. Then there must be sustainable financial strategy, guys. Because if any of you go to your college and saying that I require 20,000 rupees to build a prototype, or I require 50,000 rupees to build a prototype. So there must be some financial strategy from the institute perspective. For example, if you go to Dr. Praveen and say that I want to build a satellite, a mini satellite, and for that I require 70,000 rupees. Now, from where Dr. Praveen will arrange those things? So, institute should have some policy. So, for that, the framework has been provided by the government. It says that minimum 1% of the fund of the total budget should be allocated for funding. Where actually most of the institute, 1% is not small amount, but it's not big also. Whenever you want your students to grow to a particular level, where you want your institute to be visible on a national platform, this much amount must be donated, must be invested, not wasted, invested. We have till now 28 to 30 odd companies in our EDC cell. We did not take a single penny from them. Some of the companies are unicorns. When I say unicorns, they are more than $100 million current investment there. We did not take a single penny out of it. You can imagine, even if you would have taken a 1% out of it, what was the total wealth? I cannot say wealth, the resources we would have. But we did not take. We want our startups to grow, because if they grow, we grow. What the institute want? If Shyam gets his startup registered, if Shyam gets the IPO, what is the alma mater of Shyam? Pune Institute of Computer Technology. We get that. So that kind of vision, if the institute is having, I think then moons and stars are far nearer to them. Second thing is, people generally ask this question, that what happens if we don't have a funding, proper funding? Then you can raise the funding through DST, to MHRD, to AICT, and these are so many of institutes which are giving funding. And there are also private institutes. Now we are having in our institute 3 to 4 industrial partners who always invest in their R&D, which was done by us. So they pay us some money. We will perform their R&D. We will collaboratively collaboration or joint IP will do, and for that they pay us some money. There are the private entities also in the market which are interested in this kind of ecosystem. So might be the industries around Vijayawada. So what we do is we send students to the industries. Any problem statement, if you are any, please give it to us. We will solve it for you in stipulated time frame. And then industries gives us the problem statement, we execute it. That's how our student learns the industrial real-time knowledge. Student understands how the product can be built. It's very difficult to build a product. It is very easy to build a project or a prototype, guys. It is very difficult to build a product. So that all comes with this kind of experience. So we go to industry give us some work, we execute it, industry says it's not up to the mark, we again re-execute it. We spend times around 1.5 hour, 1.5 years, sorry, not hour. And then we come up with a final product which look like an industrial product. What is the learning out of it? Though I will give it to the industry, I will not get a single penny out of it. But what is the learning? The learning is the journey which I have started from the scratch, then to building a project, then to building a prototype, and then to building a product. And now if you see my spectrum, now I can build any product. I understood what are the problems associated with it. So these are the few snapshots I got it from the government side, where these people are giving the huge fundings. So I think institute can highlight these fundings. The person who is doing this NISP implementation can collaboratively look for this kind of fundings. So there is a funding available from Government of India, DST, AICT. There is also a GATI, GITA, sorry, not GATI, Global Innovation and Technology Alliance, which funds that. There is also Atmanirbhar Bharat Cyber Security Grand Challenge. So we have participated in the Cyber Security Grand Challenge, our institute. And our institute is the only institute which got selected across the belt. So top 12 entries got selected. Out of that, there were 11 pure industries. And we were the only, non-industry player, and we got selected for it. Though we did not get successful in going to the second or third stage, but we got selected in top 12. The reason was, first, the students, they are self-motivated. We have an ecosystem ready with us. Whenever someone comes with the funding, and funding is not the issue, guys, believe me. Funding is not at all the issue. Because if you have a right idea, definitely everyone can support that. If you don't get the funding from an institute, I can go to a local shop who understand this vision and ask for a few rupees. I can have a crowdfunding source available to you. So if you are thinking that your innovation is not there, if you could not implement the innovation because of funding, you are in wrong world, guy. If you have a right idea, I am ensuring that there will be 1,000 people who will support you with at least 500 rupees, which can make the lump sum amount and you can start innovating. So don't push back yourself by saying that we don't have a funding. Okay, there are so many opportunities if you have a right idea and the potential. Then there is a very important perspective from the, I think this I am telling it to the fellow faculties, management, the CSR. This is corporate social responsibility of any corporate sectors to generate the funds. So this CSR, they are having, so all the companies, IT, non-IT, all the companies is having some corporate social responsibility as per section 135, and they need to invest some amount of their investment into the society. And because of the amendment, any industry can give us some amount to the institute. That amount will be in lakhs, guys, will be in lakhs. And that particular amount we can use to build our products. So I'm 100% sure if you go to the industries nearby Vijayawada and you ask them about the CSR, they will tell you the 1,000 stories that we have invested this into this company or that company or into a social product or something like that. So there is a huge potential now, and people are understanding that the students are of huge potential. If they understand the potential, they invest into that. Second is, institute also can raise the funding through sponsorships and donations. Institute can actively engage the alumni networks. So we are having a strong alumni ecosystem, which always on our board, there are 5 to 6 alumni members who are the director or at the CEO levels. So they always comes, help the students to achieve something. So it's a holistic approach. You cannot always blame on the government. You cannot always blame on the institute. You should have resources from many other areas, guys. Then what they also told? They also told that institute should have the how to convert the idea to a project to a prototype to the product, and they should have also strategy to take this product to a market. Why there are only 2 e-commerce companies which are successful in India, like Amazon and Flipkart? Why the Snapdeal is not achieving that much great height as compared to Flipkart and Amazon? Why the Bajaj Pulsar became more popular as compared to there are thousands of variants which came after Bajaj Pulsar? Because time to market is also important. We are in the cutthroat competition where if we delay our project or an idea or a product, we will lose the market. And you are only aware about the Amazon and Flipkart, but believe me, there are 10,000s of e-commerce websites which you are not aware about. So every institute should have the person who can guide them. And definitely, if there are 10 people who are doing the same business, it does not mean that I will not pursue that. If I have a passion, though I am 11th one to start, if I have a passion, if I have a uniqueness, I can become one. I can become the first in coming years. So it all comes from self-automation, self-motivation. So it all comes from what kind of culture you are having. What happens in IITs and NITs, why the people generally feel that yeah, IIT is good, NIT is good. The reason is the entire ecosystem. If there are 100 students, that out of 100 students, 90 students always or 95 students always are in line in their motivation, in their goals. So remaining 5 students also gets in line with them. So you should bring a culture into the party. You should have the startup and ecosystem culture where you are promoting the ideas and all that. Okay, any questions so far, guys?
Proceed, sir.
Shall I proceed? Any questions?
Proceed.
Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
This is all I am talking is about the startup infrastructure. Okay, the infrastructure. What does the JANA SP policy tells? So it tells to the institute that you should have a pre-incubation and incubation facilities. Now, pre-incubation means any student who is in the first year or second year wants to develop the idea, wants to develop the product. Now he should have that 24/7 facility at the institute premises so that he can, because he or she don't have any resources to execute that idea. So institute should have a separate cell where these passionate students or passionate young entrepreneurs wants to build a product. So there should be 24/7 facility which should be given to the students who are in the first year or second year. That is called pre-incubation. Incubation means once the students get graduated from final year. Now, after final year, he has spent 3 years in the institute developing a product. Now he is passing out of your college. Now he want to start a startup. Now he is homeless, guys. He is homeless. So when the student get graduated, then your company, your institute should adopt him or her. Should create a room for him or her. So that is called incubation. So for at least 1 year or 2 years, institute will tell you, fine, though you got graduated, but as you are having a passionate entrepreneur or passionate vision toward entrepreneurship, we will give you the space, we'll give you the resources, free of cost. Or with normal rent kind of thing. Or with a normal equity. Or I can tell to some student, fine, we'll give you everything. But whenever you become a big, at least pay 1%. At least pay 3%. There might be the equity. The institute will ask him, give us 7% of equity. Don't give us a single penny. But whenever you become again big, you give us the equity. Or you pay back to your own college. So this kind of infrastructure, the NISP, the Government of India, presents to the institute. And definitely it's a responsibility of the institute, how to nurture the innovation, how to sustain it. So they need to establish the processes, mechanism. It's not easy. It's difficult to establish a process and mechanism. And to the colleges which are new to this kind of culture, they must have incubation support. If some student is good at the product development, and if he is not performing well into examination, and if his attendance is low, his or her attendance, then he should be permitted. Some kind of credit should be given to him so that his efforts will not be wasted. So this is all about sustainability. What happens, I will tell you the scenario. Because we are running this from last 10 to 15 years, I will tell you the scenario. What happens exactly? Students comes with the idea. We funded 5,000 rupees, 7,000, he built a product or a project. He gets the placement into a company and he joins that company. He or she joins that company. When I say he again, I don't want to be a gender specific. Guys, you understand, I mean to say he or she. What happens to his project? What happens to his product? Where we are, institute has invested 20,000 rupees. What happens to his passion? Now he joins the Infosys with 4 lakh of package. And what happens to his or her product which he or she has worked for at least 2 years of time? It's gone. Now he comes with the excuse that I have a family to support. I want to keep earning. I don't know if I take this product to a market level, when I will start earning. My parents are forcing me to first do a job, have a saving, and then continue this part. Now, this is the problem about the student. It's fine, but it's also a problem of the institute. Institute should come up with some kind of scholarship. So, institute can say, fine, you are passionate enough, we'll give 10,000 per month. You continue your entrepreneur journey in that. You have a passion now, we'll give you family support. We'll make sure that whatever the basic amenities that we'll provide you. But you don't join any company. You have a potential to become employer. Don't become employer. This is all nurturing sustainability. 90% of the student innovation don't sustain after a period of time. The reason is this. Because all are looking for this lucrative jobs offer. 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 9 lakhs, 12 lakhs, 15 lakhs. But they are forgetting if their product is unique, they can make millions of rupees. Now they are contributing to someone's goal. Now they are contributing to someone else's target. What about their own target? If that product got hit in, for example, 6 years of time, whatever you are earning in 6 years, at least triple times you will earn in 1 year or in 6 months of time. So it's more lies on me as a student, but it also there is a role of an institute. Now, this I should not talk much more on this, that this or what is the capacity the organization should have. So it should recruit new staffs that should have a strong innovation and entrepreneurship experience. Faculties, department also could have their own startups. They should also engage the local entrepreneurs into the ecosystem. They should always call subject matter expert. They should always call the successful entrepreneurs to share the story. They should develop some kind of reward mechanism so that the good people can stay into the society. Good people can stay into their colleges. So Mr. Sham is doing very well from last 3 years. He's a perfect asset to your institute. Now, institute should have some policy to retain Mr. Sham, because Mr. Sham is a good guy. He's a great guy. So even if your institute won't retain it, he will go to another institute. He will jump to the third institute.
Hello.
If you want your system to be progressed, then you should have some kind of reward system.
Meeting. 11 తర్వాత చేయండి.
Then how to create the innovation pipeline? So you should have a spreading. So what we do in our institute, whenever the first year students comes, we'll have a what we call interaction process. So there we interact with the students. We tell them about EDC, BIC, Startup Innovation Cell. We motivate the student to create a startup. Once they create a startup, we link their startup with the other companies. So all this innovation pipeline you must have. Now I think your institute is having that IIC, Institute Innovation Cells Council. Now if someone is working only for the namesake, believe me, it will not work. But if someone is having his or her own startup, then he understands the importance of these various initiatives by MHRD. And he can connect the dots and create a good story out of it. It's hard, guys. If you are not passionate, if institute is not passionate, there is a problem. If the faculty who is handling this is not passionate, there is a problem. And if the students are not passionate, then there is a big problem. So when you make all these three pieces together, then only you can paint a beautiful picture. Then only you will have a success story in short times, guys. Then you should also have some kind of evaluation, just like when you study a semester. When you study a semester, then there will be end exams. Like that, what is your entrepreneurship ecosystem in your institute? How much it is growing? So you can always have a yearly feedback. How many number of startups you have created in 1 year? What is the satisfaction? How many IPRs, intellectual properties, joint IPs you have found? How many industry linkages you are having? How many industrial mentors on the board you are having? You should open the gate of your college to the good outsiders. When I say good outsider, I mean to say industrial partners. I mean to say, your institute should be open to all, open to the world. You should open the gate. You should welcome them. Instead of having an international conference on some technology, you should also have an international conference on entrepreneurship and innovation, where students present the innovation to the industrial partners. And if industrial partner thinks it's good, they can invest lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So that kind of assessment an institute should have. I just picked few which I find it very useful, but there are many student startups who are, I will be sharing this link with Professor Praveen, Dr. Praveen. You can go through this link. You will find a very, very good startups from rural India who are generating millions of dollars. And they are exactly the student startups. And when they look here and there, they find n number of problem statement and they implement that problem statement and make it look like a good story, a great story, guys. It is a journey, is it? Journey to okay to good, good to great, and great to awesome, awesome to terrific. The moment we reach to that T, that intersection is huge. It's unique. So always aim for a larger thing, guys. If you aim only to reach to a moon, you will land on Earth. If you aim for a star, then you will land on moon. So always big, high. Don't get settled for Infosys. Don't get settled for TCS. I'm giving just an example. Why don't someone from your college could not get placed in the Google? or a Facebook or a Microsoft or in SpaceX. Why we have an aim which is larger, which is we want our life to be larger, but how it is larger than? It's only when we have great goals. And it always start with the first step, guys. First steady step. And these students are the examples. Okay. So I have a small video for you guys. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Go.
So these are all guys from the rural India. They all are from rural India. They all came up with they have seen their surroundings, they have observed the surroundings, and they found it that there is a problem and they tried achieving it. If you see the data which is being generated from last 8 months during this pandemic, there are so many startups came in this last 8 minutes, in this last 8 months. Do you know which years there was a huge innovations? Which year there was a huge innovation across the world? When the World War II happened. So whenever any disruption or something in the life gets beyond your controls, all entrepreneurs jumps to a problem, because there will be a huge problems to solve. Now we all are sitting at the home, locked in your home, we are depressed. Now there are entrepreneur mindset who looks for the problem and try to give solution, because they know in this 6 months of time they can generate a huge revenue. Online training, online workshops, some product useful in this pandemic time. So time to market is exactly. So sometimes the innovations are not look like a product. They are what you can say frugal innovation. The word is frugal. Frugal means jugaad. Means they don't look like a product, but actually they do the work just like a product. So there is a huge potential for the frugal innovations in a country like India. So we cannot think of, if someone comes if someone proposes to the government, I'm having a smart traffic light system. Now, but this traffic light system should be deployed all over the India. Now, this is not the feasible solution. What happens to the existing infrastructure we are having? So this is not the solution. Now you are saying how many traffic lights are there in India, you replace it and you adopt our new traffic light system, which is not possible. What is possible is by using the existing infrastructure. How you can upgrade it, then that's the innovation. Innovation or technology in the real means is a technology when it reaches to the common lives. I cannot say I invest 30 crore rupees and build a smart traffic light system in Vijayawada. No. Existing infrastructure which is there, existing traffic light system which is there in the Vijayawada. By adding 10 rupees to it, how I can make it smart, how I can make it efficient, that's the innovation. And that's the frugal innovation. That's the jugaad, what currently we are looking for. So, there is a very famous man in the Kolkata, if you heard about him, known as the Jugaad man. Okay, so just a small clip about him. He is the non-stop inventor. So, guys, innovations are everywhere. The problems, wherever there is a problem, there is always a huge scope of innovation. Just look here and there, and you will come to know, you will realize it, and make sure that it reaches to the leaps and bounds. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Praveen. Thank you, everyone who invited me to share a bit of knowledge. Any questions, if you have, I can answer them.
Yeah, if anyone is having questions, please ask.
Sir, can we present our innovative or startup model as a final year project for BTech students or PG students, sir?
I agree we should do that, but it's up to your institute that how this can be, handled. It's up to your institute. But we have always couple of students who always present their ideas, and we consider that idea as a project or a product. So we always allow them to be, not because it will be overburdened to the students. They are doing their product also, and they are doing the project also. So that kind of ecosystem one institute should have. So I encourage this kind of students who always come up with such kind of idea, and we are leveraging them. We are trying to ensure that they would get benefited in some or other.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, any other questions, guys? Okay, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Bansod, sir, for taking your valuable time. And now I request Marvesh, sir, for giving vote of thanks to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm R.H. Prasad, and it is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks for today's webinar. I would like to thank our guest webinar speaker, Dr. Gaurav Vijay Bansod, sir, for enlightening us with his knowledge. Today's webinar was full of knowledge and interesting things. It gave a deep insight into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. The point where Dr. Gaurav sir told us about the innovation and student startup establishment was very really informative, encouragement, and inspiring. I am pretty sure the precious knowledge that Dr. Gaurav sir gave us will definitely help us to move in the innovation and startup direction, especially for the students. Once again, I would like to thank you very much, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule and enlightening us with your knowledge. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, and always ready to help the startup ecosystem. Thank you, Dr. Praveen. Thank you, Prasad, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, sir.